Texas boxing scene is here with Donna, Texas native, Xavier X-Man Bocanegra. It's great to have you on. Welcome back, champ. You've been out of the ring for a couple months now. How's everything going? And what do you got going on in June?
Everything has been good. Training, staying busy. We're in a. I have a fight coming up June 9th in more likely Houston in the Charlo Undercard.
I wanted to ask you about that because I hadn't seen a date attached to it yet, but they're telling you most likely Houston.
Yeah, they're telling me most likely.
Toyota Center, or you don't know yet?
Nah, don't know yet.
Okay. I want to talk to you about that, right? Because you've been a pro just over a year, just about a year, right? Your pro debut was April of 2022. Um, you made it just over a year ago. Now you're not an amateur anymore. You're an undefeated prospect. What's that like? Like you're not an amateur. You're a pro. You're an undefeated prospect. What's that like?
Well, now it's serious. Now it's serious. Amateurs, well, you got headgear, you got bigger gloves. Like you don't feel it as much as a pro. As a pro, you have small gloves, no headgear, no protection. So you gotta protect yourself at all times.
So I want to ask you about that, right? Because it's obviously the headgear is different, right? There's no headgear, smaller gloves, right? There's a lot of differences, but going into a major multi-million-dollar fight card, like you've made both your pro debut and your second fight, like huge cards.
Yeah.
You're there with some of the in the hotel with some of the best fighters in the world in Vegas and stuff. What's that like? What's that experience like? Coming from just a kid from the valley to the next day you're part of this huge $1 million fight card. What's that like?
Well, I can't explain it, but like all the work has been paying off. Everything you see when you've been working hard and when you have it.
And I want to ask you, you got a little brother, uh, right
But hey,
on the way up, a couple of years, 2, 3 years younger than you.
yeah.
Um, Amateur standout, really good amateur. What kind of advice do you give to him? Right? I mean, what do you tell your little brother?
Well, he wants to go pro already.
How
I
old
think
is he? 17, 16, 16? 17.
yeah, he's 17.
So he could
And
turn pro if he wanted to, right? Like he could, yeah.
yeah, he wants to go pro, but I tell him to wait a couple years till like he's 19, 20. Yeah, once he's like matured, like good. Cause like he could face grown man and everything. So he's still young.
How old are you? You're 20 now.
I'm 19.
You're 19 now, right? So I mean, yeah, yeah. I mean, what's that like? You're in there, 122 pounds. You're getting hit with 8 ounce gloves. Is there a big difference? I mean, no headgear, 8 ounce gloves. I mean, do you feel the difference right away?
Nah, nah, not really. Like, well, or it's the adrenaline.
Yeah.
Cause like once I'm in there, like I get hit and like boom, like okay, like it's good, you caught me. But like I don't feel it at the moment. When I feel it is usually the next day. I like right here, like I feel like bruised up. My ear.
And that's like you're in so many fights, right? And you don't really feel the shots you're getting hit with, right? Like you're landing, but you don't really feel the shots, like you said, till the next day when your face is swollen up. So let's go back to your pro debut. You go in there, you take care of business, you dominate the fight, you win every round and every card. Just walk us through that fight. What was that fight? And kind of give us some analysis on your pro debut back in April in Las Vegas.
Mm. Well, at first I was nervous because like it was my first time and there's gonna be like a lot of like famous people, like a lot of that stuff. But at the same time, I was ready, so like I didn't really pay attention to that. I was focused on my win, and that's what we went to do. That's what I got in to do.
And you look spectacular. Like I said, dominated the fight. You looked really, really good, impressive. PBC brings you back a couple months later in July, and you get to go to the Alamo Dome.
Yes.
Um, just a couple hours from where you grew up, right? A couple hours north from where you grew up. What was that like? Well, fighting so close to home.
To be honest, it was way much better. Like a lot of my family went, a lot of fans went. it was a good turnout, and
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
it was a good turnout, and like I gave the fans what they wanted.
You did. I want to get back to this in a second, but also on that card was Brandon Figueroa, right? And he's from Westlaco, and if you don't not familiar with the valley, how far is Westlaco from Donna? Like 5 miles away, 10 miles away? Like it's right
Yeah,
down the road, right? So
right down the road.
yeah, I mean, obviously, like Brandon Figueroa is from a world champ. Obviously, he's about your weight. He's a little bigger now, but is that someone you've looked up to? And what was it like sharing a card with him?
Well, usually when I fight, like I don't usually see other fights. I
Okay.
just I work for like my fight, and once it's done, like well, I'm hungry and like stuff like that, so I go eat with the family, like thinking that I'm okay, everything.
So you go there, you at the Alamo Dome. Brandon Figueroa is on the card. It's a huge event. It's a huge crowd at the Alamo Dome, and you fight Travis Kent, who's from Corpus Christi, it's 2 hours north or so, right? Were you familiar with him? Did you know Travis at all?
Nah, I didn't know him. They were telling me that. Um, I don't know. I don't know if it's true or not, but that he saw some videos of me that he was gonna beat me, this and that. But I knew I had it.
And Travis is a pretty good fighter, right? Like, he had a pretty good amateur career up there in Corpus. He had his hometown fans too, right? You're 2 hours north. He's 2 hours east, right? So, it was a home fight for him too. And walk us through what happened. Tell us, about the stoppage and just kind of walk us through that fight.
Well, I knew he didn't have that same experience as I did as an amateur, because I don't think he really had that much fights as me. I did like over like 130, I think. I did over 130 amateur fights,
Yeah.
and that's a good experience. I fought like all types of kids, lefties, righty, awkward, not awkward, you name them.
So you go in and you fight Travis Crawford again. Travis Crawford from Corpus Christi, hometown guy. You have your fans there. What was it like getting not just a win, but getting the stoppage win, um, in front of your fans, in front of your crowd? What was that experience like?
It was good. Like everybody was excited. Um, like before I went in the ring, I had it in my head like he can't beat me. He can't beat me. All the time I had it in my head he can't beat me, and like whenever he would hit, like I wouldn't feel him. So I knew like that experience helped me a lot of fights.
So you're 2-0. You got a knockout. You've been out of the ring since what was that? July, I guess, right? So you've been out of the
I,
ring 7-8 months, right? And you're going back to camp. You leave on the 24th. You said so in a couple of days. What have you been doing to stay in shape and stay sharp? And what have you been doing in the 8-9 months since that win?
well, the first couple of months, like the first 6 months, I was training, but just with my left hand. Training left hand, running,
Is
everything
that
was,
what you had? You had a right hand injury? Is that what kept you out? An
yeah,
injury? Okay.
right hand. And no sparring those like 6 months. Then the other 2 months, I started using my right hand. Yeah, it got good, everything. So
So
I started training like good, full.
did you hurt your hand in the Travis Crawford fight, or
Yeah,
did you?
the fight.
Okay, so this was in the fight. Did you know right away? Was it a knuckle thing? Was it what did you
Uh,
damage?
it was it was right here.
One of those little bones. Okay, you got yeah. About half your bones are in your hand. There are so many little bones in that hand. You
Yeah,
break one, yeah. They didn't do surgery or anything. They just had to let it rest, right?
they put cast and that's it.
Yeah, because I mean the bones are so small that you can't really do surgery. So the only thing you can do is let it heal. And it took about 6 months, you said.
Like 6 months. Yeah.
What was that like? Because that's probably the longest you've been not sparring, not in the ring, right? That's probably the longest ever in your life, right? Since you started boxing. What was it like being away from the
Well,
contact?
I wasn't like fully away because like my teammates would spar and
Yeah.
I would spar. There was this one time where I was in a spar, but with my left hand, and somebody called my dad and told him that I was in a spar with one hand, and he got mad at me.
It's an addiction. You got to spar. You can't stay out of the ring.
Yeah.
That's it's a blessing and a curse. That's Um, so I want to get back to that, right? So you head into camp on on April 24th for the June 9th fight. You going back to Ronnie Shields' camp? That's a camp. Charlo, David Morrell, Arislande De Laura. I mean, like Hall of Fame level fighters.
Yeah.
Being 19, what's it like having that kind of wisdom and that kind of experience and that kind of greatness in the gym alongside you?
It's like a lot, like, because there's world champions. Like, that helps the mentality, everything. Like, if you ever need something, like words of wisdom or something, you ask them. Like, what could I do to better this, to better that? And they'll tell you, and that boosts your confidence a lot.
You're in with Ronnie Shields, and you can see Ronnie Shields is on the wall right there. One of the greatest trainers ever. He's trained Pernell Whitaker, Arturo Gatti, Mike Tyson. Like, he's trained everyone. Talk to me about what his camp is like compared to where you come from at home. What are his camps like? Like your day-to-day kind of training with Ronnie. What's that like?
Well, like, I never did like a full camp with him. This is gonna be my first one. But I went train like 2 weeks, a week, stuff like that, and it was good.
I like to. I know you told it before in a previous interview, but I want you to tell it again. Now, tell us how you met Ronnie Shields and how you got caught up and with him and how that all started.
Uh, it was a sparring. He invited us over, and I sparred one of his guys, and I looked good, and he called us if we wanted like a chance, and we took it.
And you were
No,
still an amateur at that point, or you hadn't had a pro fight yet, but had you decided that you were turning pro yet, or were you still in the amateurs at that point?
uh, no, I was still at the amateurs at that point.
So you get a call from, like I said, Ronnie Shields, who's one of the best trainers ever. He's one of the biggest gyms, one of the best gyms in the country. Does it like strike you at that time like this is real? Like my dreams are coming true here. I mean, Ronnie Shields wants me at his gym. What's that like at 18 years old?
Yeah, it was something good. He had called my dad, and my dad saw it. He told me that he had called him and everything, and we're excited.
So it's been good. The hand's feeling better. You're back June 9th, likely in Houston. Hopefully in Houston. I want to be there. If it's Houston, I'll try to be there. How how's Charlo gonna do? Is he fighting Salisky, or do we not have an opponent yet for Charlo, or do you know where we stand with that?
Oh, I don't know nothing of that situation.
Yeah, okay. All right. I'm just asking. I want to ask you: are you being from the Rio Grande Valley? And I've had, I talked to Omar Juarez the other day. I've talked to Brandon and Omar Figueroa. I've talked to another guy kind of in your spot, Fabian Diaz. There's a ton of so many good fighters coming out of the Rio Grande Valley right now. What's going on in the 956 that all of a sudden there are so many top-notch fighters?
I don't know, but like, it's the self-motivation, the discipline. If you have it, you'll get somewhere.
So you're 2-0. I know we don't look past any opponent, but assuming you do win in June, you'll be 3-0. You're still just 19. Do you start looking at, okay, I want to another year, and then I want to be fighting elite level fighters? Or I mean, do you kind of have a blueprint, like a map of when you want to be fighting for fighting world class fighters and fighting for world titles? You kind of have a blueprint in mind for that?
Not yet, but like, we're gonna work our way up there.
So I want to ask you two questions. First, your weight class, a mega fight in your weight class, 122. Stephen Fulton and Inoue. In Japan, who do you got in that fight?
I Probably Inoue.
Okay, you know why? Okay,
Yeah.
he's just too
So,
too much of a monster, right?
yeah.
And then
That
Saturday's fight. Go
I'm
ahead, go ahead.
knockout.
What was that?
No knockout though.
No, not gonna knock. Fulton's good on the inside. He's a hard guy to win rounds against. So you're taking Inoue on points.
Yeah.
Then the other fight, the big fight, Saturday, Ryan Garcia, Tank Davis. I got to get your opinion on that.
It's a 50-50 fight, but I go for Tank.
I see everyone says that. Everyone says, oh, it's a 50-50 fight, Tank. Like, everyone I talk to said, what? He's just too powerful, too explosive, and his timing's too good?
Well, they both have power, but Tank has more of the like footwork and stuff like that.
He can get inside and land his power. Yeah. No, I agree with you. I'm taking Fulton though. I think Fulton is going to be too big for Inoue. So I'm taking Fulton, and I agree with you. I'm taking Tank in that fight too. So I want to ask you, right? So like you said, you're from the Rio Grande Valley. Boxing in the Rio Grande Valley, it's one of the hotbeds for boxing in all the country. You and your brother, you had like just down the road, Brandon and Omar kind of put Westlaco on the boxing map. What's it like for you and your brother kind of doing the same thing for Donna, right? Like, I'm from Texas, and like before you, I didn't know where Donna was. I had to look it up. Like, okay, it's by Westlaco. What's what's that like? But you and your brother, making a name for your hometown.
We just gotta make everybody proud.
Is it a dream? Do you want to come down? I know Brandon has fought in the Valley. I think Omar has. Is that something Omar Figueroa has too? I talked to Omar Juarez. He would love to do it. Is that something you want to do? At some point when you can kind of call your shots and you're in charge, do you want to like fight and make title defenses in the Rio Grande Valley?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, of course. Yeah, because there's like some people that want to see us here that can't go upstate and stuff like that. So, yeah.
There's so many good fighters there. Like Brandon, Juarez, yourself, Fabian. Let's just get a card of all Rio Grande Valley natives on that. It would be a hot ticket. So June 10th. I know you don't have any opponent yet, but 122, right? That's where you're fighting at.
Yeah, I'm a fight.
Is that what you feel comfortable at? Is that what you plan on staying? Because you are tall, right? You're tall for the weight class. How tall are you?
5'9".
5'9" for a 122 pounder. That's you're tall for the weight class. You making it comfortable? Is that a weight class you can stay at, or do you think eventually you'll have to move up?
Nah, I'll stay there. Yeah.
So super bantamweight prospect, good division. Brandon Figueroa won a world title there. We'll get another Rio Grande Valley native to win a world title at 122. I know we don't have an opponent yet, but you want to give me a prediction? We're going to get another knockout, and it's in Houston. You're going to have fans there. Your fans are going to travel to Houston like they did San Antonio.
Hoping so, but more likely they will. We're gonna take a big crowd, so
I hope so. Like I said, if it isn't, if and when that becomes official, I'm gonna try to be there on June 9th to check you out. Okay. I wasn't able to make it to your fight in San Antonio, so I'm gonna definitely try to be at this one. Xavier Bocanegra, you want to make a prediction for that fight? You're gonna get another knockout?
I say I'm gonna get a stoppage. Yeah, knockout. Third round.
Knockout third round. Another scheduled 4-rounder.
Yeah.
And then after this, maybe one more. You had a layoff, so a couple more 4-rounders, and then moving on to 6, and then 8, and then 10, and then 12.
Yeah, slowly but surely.
Yeah, you're just 19. You got nothing but time, right? Xavier Bocanegra, I appreciate your time. June 9th, likely in Houston. I'll let you know when that becomes official and the venue. Social media, where can everyone find you?
Xavier on Instagram, I have it under Xavier Bocanegra official, and on Facebook, I have it under Xavier X-Men Bocanegra.
All right. God bless, champ. Appreciate your time.
Yes, sir. Thank you.